Hyun's father was thrilled that his son had used a palm art to send water flying. His son had real martial talent. Even though he wanted him to study instead, he would still support his martial training. Then his expression turned serious. He called for paper and ink to send a message to the palace. The next day, his father handed him the divine manual of heaven. Hyun's face turned serious. This was the manual the emperor himself had given. That alone showed how much influence his father had. His father said he had recently told the emperor that Hyun started learning martial arts, so the emperor personally picked the best manual in the palace for him. What Hyun didn't know was how hard his father pushed for it. The old man kept sending letters to the emperor, asking if he'd forgotten him, all to pressure him into saying yes. Honestly, it sounded more like a jealous lover throwing a fit. On top of that, his brother-in-law became his martial arts teacher. He was Dam Chun-woo, Hyun's older sister's husband. The guy proudly claimed his school was the most famous in the province. Compared to Hyun's real skill, he was probably nothing. But Hyun couldn't reveal that yet, so he had no choice but to kneel and accept his brother-in-law as master. Their father was so touched he nearly cried, wondering when his son had become this respectful. In truth, Hyun just couldn't stand back up without his brother-in-law helping him. Over the next few days he trained under him, and it felt like torture. Dam Chun-woo kept mocking him, and even called him a killer whale. That made Haya furious, and Hyun actually challenged his own master, saying he'd prove he already understood the basics. Dam Chun-woo thought it was a joke, and burst out laughing, loud enough to make it worse. But when Hyun mocked him and asked if he was scared, he instantly accepted the fight, and sealed his internal energy to make things fair. He still thought that wasn't enough, so he even tied up his own arms before they started. Hyun used his combat technique. It was quick and powerful, though his heavy body still slowed him down. Even his brother-in-law was shocked. How was Hyun blending fighting styles so naturally? Hyun knew his strength had limits, so he had to end it fast. He quickly knocked his brother-in-law down. The man begged for mercy, but Hyun still finished by knocking him out. Later, he was hurt so badly he couldn't even scratch himself, and had to ask his wife Hyun's sister to scratch his head. She didn't mind at all because Hyun was doing great. She had always believed he was a martial arts genius. His sister could barely hide her joy. Another day, Hyun walked through town. He had never seen the people this happy. Merchants traded, children played, and it made him remember the past, when corpses covered the streets. Back then, everyone lived with fear and hunger. The Chaos Servant had destroyed everything and stolen their peace. Now when people saw Hyun, they rushed over in admiration. They couldn't believe the young master was really walking on his own legs. Before long, they started handing him gifts, even food. He had only gone out for a walk, but the townspeople